him, or sometimes you're left in that waiting awkward phase to where you're waiting out the 5 turns. I remember he was very underwhelming at first. Hey, thanks so much for checking out the channel. If you're curious about any other hero in Empires and Puzzles, you can view my website at anchorgame.com. There you will find I have graded every single hero with a calibrated team of graders. This resource will always be free. Thinking about supporting the hero grades and the breakdown videos? You're welcome to donate. Otherwise, feel free to share this resource with a friend. I have my exclusive line group called Anchor Cove, where you gain access to myself and tons of other experienced players with on-demand information and resources. If that piques your interest, all that information is on the opening page of my website with a short video. Let me dive into today's hero breakdown. Hey, thanks so much for checking out the channel. Today we are doing a brand new hero breakdown on the beefy dwarf man. His name's Boril. Fortunately, he's only got 501 on his attack. He does have 792 on his defense and 1151 on his health. Statistically, that attack power is awful. We get it that axe doesn't really help you out at all. Defensively, really high. Health total, a little bit to be desired. He is part of the regular average classic heroes. As far as his special abilities, he does one simple thing. Cast from nearby allies, counterattack with 125% damage received for 5 turns. Seems pretty simple, right? This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. It is a free massive turn-based dark fantasy RPG. To try this game out, all you gotta do, go to the video description, click on the special links. You'll receive 100,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 10 mystery shards, and 1 free champion, Slasher. All your treasure, it's waiting for you right over here. So when we look at his actual hero special, it doesn't really do too much on paper when you look at it, but honestly it is really annoying trying to battle into him, especially if you don't have anything that's dispelling, because any damage that is dealt to him and his other buddies hanging out next to him, they actually reflect all that damage back to you more than what you deal to them. So it definitely does get really annoying and you want to dispel them, or sometimes you're left in that waiting awkward phase to where you're waiting out the 5 turns. I remember he was very underwhelming at first, but I think that he does have some maybe parts that you could use him. He is a cleric class hero, which means that if you are using emblems, possibly you have them available. If you're embleming up your 4 stars, I think that there might be a case for him, but probably not. When we look at his Titan grade, he is going to get a C grade there. Obviously, his attack power is really ridiculously low at 501. It's not going to help you out at all. And the only spot that he really fits in on a Titan is going to be in that special ability or the high tile damage slot, and he's neither of which. So I don't like him at all on the Titans, not to mention his hero special being able to reflect 125% to him and surrounding enemies. Sometimes they hit, sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't really prove to be really that helpful, so I'm not a big fan of him on Titans at all. He is going to get a C grade there. When we look at him offensively, I do see that there could be some usage there. Maybe you want to kind of bounce around. You maybe build a team that helps out with healing, so you keep everybody alive, but you set him up to counterattack. The only issue that I have with the counterattacking heroes, especially when they're the caster and the nearby allies, is that you're kind of at the whim that the defense is hopefully going to attack into him, and I don't really like that method. Not to mention he doesn't really do anything to impact the board too much besides that, so I'm not a huge overall fan of him on offense. He is going to get a B grade there. I could see that maybe there's a case for a B+, but I doubt it. Right around average, I would say he's going to get a B. When we look at his defensive grade, he is going to get a B as far as the tank grade goes. This is pretty much the only spot to where if you are putting him in on defense. Now, these grades are currently right now compared against the 5 stars because I think that there's some better usage, but he could maybe fit into that tank grade, especially setting up because he has such high defense. Now, if you are using him on defense and you're going to use emblems, you're going to want to focus solely on his defensive stats and his health total. You don't really care about that attack power too much, so that's totally fine. Leave that alone. Go all defense on the emblems. When we look at a flank grade, he is going to get a C grade there. Obviously, with him now being at a flank, you're at the mercy of not really impacting the board too much, because if the tank dies, it's only him and the wing that are getting the effect, and I don't really like that, only hitting 2 players. It's not going to be a good factor. He's going to get a C grade, and then he's even worse in the wing at a C. Don't do that. That's a really, really bad spot for him. It's really awful to throw him in the very far wing because he's not going to do anything or impact the board at all. So defensively, he is going to get a B grade there. I think this definitely settles in there. There is maybe potential for it to bump up a little bit, but I doubt it. I think B is probably the exact spot that he needs to be at. When we look at his weekly raid grade, he is going to get an A on rush attack, with him now running at very fast speed, setting it up so they're counterattacking at 125%. Definitely quite useful. It will get really, really annoying because he's always going off. He's always bringing it back. He's always counterattacking. Even if you dispel him, he could go off again and just set it all up. So I do like him on rush attack. He is going to get an A grade there. Now, when I look at the weekly raid grade, these are compared against other 4-star tournaments, so I'm not comparing this against 5-star heroes. This is only going to be in the bracket for 4 stars. When we look at his buff grade, he is going to get a B grade there, just because he's just kind of a body. He does help out in terms of just counterattacking, but that's not going to help out the buffs too much. And then in Bloody Battle, he's going to get another B grade there, just essentially setting up so you're countering attacking. About average, not awful, but not great. So he's going to get an overall grade of a B. There is definitely usage with Boril. I like him a bit on offense. Maybe you can throw him in as a tank. I think he's just kind of like a fun little hero that you could use. So thanks so much for watching this content. Please make sure you subscribe, you turn the notifications on, and I'll see you on the next video.